Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Is it loud?
I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear the music?
Mm-mm.
Ah, that's trash.
It's real quiet.
Let me see if I can turn it up. Ah, that sucks. Hold on. Well, we're still waiting on Corey, so that's okay.
Yeah. Woo!
How your day?
It's been chill. I sat out in the sun
Okay.
today. That sun was slapping this evening, boy. I said, ooh, boy, y'all put a nice little sun out today. Oh,
Okay.
y'all ain't got no whole lot of gray skies out here. I can actually enjoy the sun. So I sat out in the sun about 2 hours. Finished reading my little book for my book club.
Okay.
Just got it Sunday. We just got the book I just got the book Sunday, Saturday. No, I started reading it Saturday or Sunday. So I am now officially a fan of Kindles, baby. I used to always be like, oh, I gotta read a book from the actual paper book. Girl, reading on the phone is just like the best thing ever.
I like to hold the actual book.
I do sometimes, but I go to sleep when I read a book. I go to sleep. But reading on the phone,
You don't
I don't
go
know,
to
reading
sleep.
on the key. I'll go to sleep. It keeps an interest. And then it also tells you how much of the book you done read, how much what the page, exact page. Even though, you read a book, it tell you that, but it tells you like you 50% through. And yeah, but I had a good day.
Okay.
How was
Sometimes
your day?
a good day. Mine was
What?
okay. It was busy.
Oh yeah, y'all testing.
Yes, and then I cut my grass when I get to the house because I pulled up to the house and I was like, "This ain't even me. I gotta fix this." But I have a push. I mean, a ride more, so it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. I was say
I
I
have,
don't think
so
my
you
grass is
can hear the
good.
music for real.
I couldn't hear nothing.
Shoot, I thought I was doing so. It was smooth too. I like that little
Yeah,
junk,
yeah, Tone did good. We appreciate your Tone.
even though it didn't
Antonio.
come through. send, send a message in that thing. Okay, let me see. So you can't hear that.
No, I heard nothing. The last week I could hear the elevator music Sunday.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to play with it some more till I figure it out.
What you on the computer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could hear it when you played it. The elevator music.
That's
The
crazy.
yoga music. The what you call it? The
The
sound
almost
like the music they play when you go get a massage.
it probably was.
Yeah,
Okay,
they like
well, I don't know how to fix it at the moment. So I ain't gonna worry about it. But I don't know where I guess we just roll with what we get. We can keep
yeah,
going. He'll
yeah,
log in if he get I don't know. Sometimes he be having stuff with work.
he be having for real stuff going on. So yeah, what we got today?
We're gonna talk about enmeshment.
Familial
Entrapment.
entrapment.
Oh yeah, I forgot I named it. So tonight's episode is gonna be about familial entrapment, and we're gonna discuss different tactics to use to identify enmeshment within the family unit. And then after the identification process has been completed, we will then deliberate about how to implement correct communication of ideas and activities that you can use to remove enmeshment to then
Hmm.
replace with healthy involvement. So the goal is to have not enmeshment within relationships, but healthy involvement when
Mhm.
dealing with. And it doesn't matter the relationship; it can be platonic or romantic.
Mhm. So
So
I
I wonder,
literally did my homework on this one.
you
I
would,
watched my boy. I actually learned about enmeshment.
yeah, you got
Yes,
to.
sir.
I did too. I did
Yes,
a little
sir.
bit. I got a little papers and stuff wrote down a little bit, but
Yeah, I listened
I'm gonna do
to the
my
lecture.
the little card, and then
Okay,
you could do your. I guess we probably should tell what
there
the definition of enmeshment is, but I don't know what your word
That's
is.
what I. That's my word of the day. Enmeshment.
All right. Well, I'm pulling from the empath. No, I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna pull twice actually. So randomly, I'm gonna pull from that relationship. But for right now, I'm just gonna do the empath one because
Okay.
a lot of times the people that are really do a lot of enmeshment are empathetic people.
Are
So
they really empathetic? Are they trained to be empathetic? Hmm.
I did it could be I think it could be either or. Some people just naturally feel.
Yeah, some people naturally feel, but if you're in a enmeshed family, you
I
have
mean,
been
I'm just
trained too.
but you can still
Yeah,
naturally just feel. But it
yeah.
is you can be trained to do it or
Or you're
traumatized to the
hypersensitive.
point
Yeah. It's a
that that
hypersensitivity to others'
yeah.
feelings.
So we can't say that it's just because you could come from a healthy situation and still have that.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
it could be
that's
either
just
way.
an empathetic person or somebody that's really connected with their feelings and can feel energy to that like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I pull let go of being a martyr. Damn. Uh let's find a balance between giving and receiving. It is not
Hmm.
healthy to give so much that you feel ill or exhausted.
Hmm.
That kind of goes in with being in the enmeshed family because sometimes if you like the actual martyr is a person that does things to get like recognition or to feel better about about what they're doing. And so if you're not being a martyr, then I think that lessens your chances of being in an enmeshed situation. Martyrdom
Hmm.
a lot of times in enmeshed situations, the matriarch or the patriarchal person of the family is a martyr.
So a martyr. So I looked up what a martyr means. It's a person who voluntarily suffers death. It's
Yes,
usually in relation to religion. So a person who voluntarily suffers death as the penalty of witnessing to and refusing to renounce a religion.
that's like that lady on that movie Chaos. Hey Corey, on that movie
Oh
Chaos,
yeah.
uh,
Okay.
is well not the movie, that episode Chaos, the series Chaos. The lady that was the sacrifice. That's a ultimate uh example or description of a martyr. But I think it can be different things.
Jesus died on the cross as a martyr. Or did he die on purpose?
I don't know.
Um,
I wasn't there.
would he be considered a martyr?
I would think so. Probably.
He died on
I
purpose, and did
I
they
think
put
so.
him on the cross
It probably was a
against his
little bit of
will?
both. He might have just took one for the team.
I took one for the team, baby.
You stupid. All right, so Corey, we talking about enmeshment. I don't know how. I seen when you clicked on, but I don't know how much you heard. And I just was
um,
reading my card, and I just picked "Don't Be a Martyr," and she's about to give us the definition of
Sound like you can say, "Don't be a martyr" while drinking your juice.
man at
Uh,
the crib. Shit, at work. Martyrdom
don't
could
be a
be
menace to the
expressed in
society
several
while
ways, and
drinking your juice in the hood.
I think the most like the easiest way to explain it is just somebody that does and does and does and then feels bad when it's not reciprocated.
Or you're doing something with an expectation of being looked at as a certain
That's what
way.
I just That's what I said. You're doing it with expectation of something
It
in
would set
return.
expectations.
Yeah.
And usually the expectation in return is what? Praise.
Yep. Or look at how good you know how to do this. Oh, I'm so proud of you for doing this, or
People
that
pleasing
type of
too.
shit. Hmm.
Okay. So the
That's a
word,
big
oh, you had
topic.
another card.
I'm gonna pull it later. That's another.
Oh,
That's a really good big topic in recovery rooms. Martyrdom.
mhm. Okay, so the word of the day is enmeshment. Enmeshment. And according to the American Psychological Association, enmeshment is a condition in which two or more people, typically family members, are involved in each other's activities and personal relationships to an excessive degree. This limiting or precluding healthy interaction and compromising individual autonomy and identity.
So, in layman's terms, what they mean?
In layman terms, that means when your family are
Be
too
all in your
involved in each
business.
other's lives and you do not get to be a individual, you lose your individuality and take one for the team. Low key, they call it a cult mentality.
Or a hive mind.
Yeah, so you got to follow what we doing, and you can't worry about your individual because the
Individuality
family
breaks
needs you.
stuff. It ruins it.
Yes, so
Weakens it.
right, so it's basically what family needs versus personal needs, which is
Hmm.
your identity.
All right. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is like how do you identify it? Like if you never, I guess we could give like examples of
Hmm.
enmeshment. Um, I have a few written down
Hmm.
that we can talk about or maybe elaborate on a little bit. I'll read one and then I don't know, like we could just talk about it. So I'm gonna give an example and then we can go from there.
Hmm.
I like the first one I want to do is like if because we said enmeshment is talking about the betterment of the family per se, based on what
Hmm.
somebody thinks. And I will say encouraging someone to stay in a relationship or in a situation when it's extremely unhealthy for that person. Like, oh, it's okay,
Hmm.
girl, it'll get better. Just stay at that job. We need this for the family. The family needs this, or grandmama be mad if you did XYZ or whatever.
So basically, for a look or
Yeah,
to look good for the
to
family.
look a certain way.
Hmm.
So I just like for me, I could think of a situation where like you might be say if you married and you married to a person that most people would consider, oh, he's a good man or she's a good woman, but then at home it's like heck of verbal abuse, heck of uh or it might be extreme cheating or something to that nature like that. But on the outside looking in, your family looks like, oh well, they got a nice house, they got nice cars, their kids are put together well. So they're encouraging you, oh, it's a good look, so you should stay and fix it, even though you might be at the house getting your head knocked against the wall. Or,
Um,
something to not maybe not that extreme. It could be verbal, it could be, just an unhealthy situation. But because your
hmm.
family thinks that this is a good look for the overall family, you stay. And I think that's
Hmm.
like one example of enmeshment.
So that is more like over involvement in one's life.
Yeah.
And what that does is it has an effect on the individual's relationships, different activities, and some parents, I know old school black parents, or I ain't even say old school black parents, but a lot of black parents I know, boomer age, the generation that first really started getting recognized and getting to integrate with other people. For them, their self-worth sometimes hinges on their children's success.
Yes, on how well you turned out is what. Oh, my son is a doctor and he's this and he's that,
Yeah.
but your son is a functioning fucking whatever functioning
Yeah.
uh coping mechanism that he has, and nobody pays attention to it, or nobody knows, because sometimes it's where nobody really, like, somebody can be like, well, my husband do this or my wife be doing this, and other people like, I can't believe that, I can't believe that. But
Hmm.
you can never be like, oh, I know my son wouldn't do that, because your son is a completely different person than her husband,
Hmm.
or
Correct.
vice versa. Your daughter is a completely different person than his wife or his significant other.
Hmm.
You might not know them the same way that the person that's living in a house with them knows.
Yeah. So let's give context. So I listened to a guy the other day talk about it, and so most enmeshed families think that it's normal because being over involved in each other's lives to them shows that they really love one another.
That's what I was saying, as far as like
Mm-hmm.
you differentiate between somebody that's empathetic, or
Hmm.
this is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it can be both. So it could be extremely overwhelming. So you will just
Hmm.
do it because that's what your family, it's so much pressure from your family, because
Yeah.
there's caught up in your business, like there's no boundaries.
Yeah.
So now you
Okay.
stuck in a situation where you know what I'm saying, you really don't want to be in, off of familiar pressure instead of peer pressure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So basically, like somebody trying to live up to the next person's expectations or whatnot. You
Right.
feel me?
Yep.
Without even trying to meet or
Take care of their
create their
own.
own. Yeah, you
Yeah.
feel me?
Mhm.
And so the results of that is what that people start feeling guilty. Individuals feel guilty for having their own thought process. And then
Yep.
I know a lot of times when kids grow up like that, they're people pleaser, and then they're
Hmm.
hyper. That's what I was saying earlier. A lot of them it's a learned behavior, so they're hyper sensitive to everybody else's needs around them when they become adults, especially in relationships. So a lot of times in relationships, you may have a partner who's in touch with their emotions and they have a healthy emotional barometer, and so
Hmm.
they allow themselves to get upset and have their moments. But the person who may have come from an enmeshed family, every time this person gets upset or dealing or doesn't have a pleasant emotional
Mhm.
response, they get nervous and they try to make them happy and like, what's
And it's
wrong? And
called
try to make them, yeah,
walking on eggshells, or you are living in a state of codependency. How I
right,
feel is going to be based on how this person feels. So if you come home
exactly,
and you had a bad day at work and you normally take it out on your family, then your children, your wife, or your husband and your children, everybody gonna be nervous trying to figure out how this person is gonna act when they get back to the house
right.
or
Or
wherever they
sometimes
go.
I know what I was saying, and that's true too. What I was saying is a lot of times some people have healthy emotionals, and sometimes you're gonna feel some type of way, like you're gonna have a negative emotional reaction. But the person who comes from the enmeshed family does not know how to deal with that, so they
That's what
purposely
I'm
put
saying. So
themselves
you're walking
on
on
eggshells.
eggshells.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because of the way you've been trained to always share emotions and feelings with everybody in your family.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, and then if you take that and take it and put it on top of like, say if you have a person, two people that come from enmeshed families, it has probably
Ah, this stuff is horrible.
got to be the most toxic shit you could ever witness. That's got to be horrible, because everybody, all y'all doing is feeling all day long.
So I'm a this off topic. Why Future? I don't know if this real or not. But I was looking on TikTok. Future got a book called Toxic, or somebody may have written a book called Toxic, and it got a whole bunch of Future quotes. It was funny to me. I may be wrong for laughing, but I
That
low key
shit
kind of
funny
want to read
because
this
Future
book.
toxic in his
I
own
low
little
key want to
way.
read it.
It's probably good. I mean, it might teach you some
But
shit to
like,
look for here or look out for.
Because they sounded like some good quotes. Like the word, like his
yeah,
quotes. I mean, he's a rapper, so yeah, he's toxic, but some of his quotes make sense. Just like
Yeah.
motherfuckers be loving Boosie and he be making valid points.
I
you
think
Right.
know. But
everybody can make a valid point at when it, like your ability to be a good person in a relationship doesn't have anything to do with your ability to put good words together.
yeah, and to be toxic. But I Future put good words together, and I low key want to read the book.
Read it.
I probably am.
Cause he's probably smarter than what people are gonna give him credit for because he don't do as they say. I don't know that man. They say he doesn't do for his children, but shit, he doing something here. So
Yeah, he just saying like a wise old black man talking shit.
and that's probably I mean, you gotta think about how many kids and how many baby mamas he got. Shit, he knows something, even if it is toxic. Yeah. He doing some shit. But nah, that's
Yeah.
a but Corey,
Nah.
you got anything to say about it, Mesh?
No, no, no. I was just laughing at y'all or whatnot, breaking it down or whatever, especially discussing future or whatever. I just was laughing. I apologize.
Mm. But yeah, so I think another like example of enmeshment could be like I just put like statements when I wrote it down. It says like sometimes the sister is worse than the mom or the other women in the family. Like when you deal with some men, it could be like the only he might be either the only son or the only
Mm,
productive male in the family. So it's hard to date him because everybody, all the women in the family put has him up on a pedestal.
Or they're looking to him to be the man, might not necessarily well a pedestal, but that's the
Yeah.
only man they know.
And that's the only one that they have to take care of them. So if a woman comes into the picture, she's looked at as competition
mm.
Hmm.
because oh, you're gonna come in and you're gonna take this is the
Stop.
responsible male in our family.
So this is where we get the mama's boys.
That's my next one. Hmm.
They got a whole TV show called "I'm in Love with a Mama's Boy." Who the fuck knew this? Who be watching this shit? I
I
watched the
couldn't your
episode the other
ass.
day.
I could watch it.
I sure
I
did because
turned
I
that
was like,
shit
"Who
off.
TLC? Where y'all be coming up with these shows?"
So
Like,
off of listening to people podcast.
But you want, but I gotta say something on that one though,
Okay, we listening.
cause I ain't gonna lie. You feel me? You know, I'm the only child. You feel me?
mm,
I
But
have
if
no.
I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead. I have no brothers or sisters that I grew up with in our household or whatever. But I grew up with the whole,
family for the women.
undertones of being a mother's boy or a mama's boy
Hmm.
or whatnot. But I never let that. I don't know. I never was a titty baby, so to speak. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
So you
so
and your mom had a healthy relationship. You think you're
most
saying?
man, most definitely, I would like to most definitely say so. And that ain't me
Hmm.
just trying to say that just because that's my mom's or whatever, but
No,
like
no.
looking back on it from a therapeutic and a real in a real way or whatever, nah man, most definitely. Me and my mother had a healthy relationship and she did the best that she can trying to raise
Hmm.
uh a young man on his way to be a man. So,
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's I think that's different. Like what I'm saying is like sometimes you can if you like if they when the women in the family put the guy up on the pedestal, it's like it don't matter what he do, he
oh,
doesn't
okay,
do
okay,
any
okay. I
wrong.
got you. I got you.
That type of pedestal, like oh well,
I got
he done beat up his wife, and his mama might be like, well, what you do, you know? What I'm saying?
you. I
hmm
got
That's
you. I
the
get where you're
horrible.
coming
I'm just saying, like that type of. Oh well, my son wouldn't do this. My son wouldn't do it, or my daughter wouldn't do that. My daughter, I've seen it go both ways.
or a situation where the children, the parent. may feel like the child is responsible for them, like a husband wife, a husband
Yes,
son,
this my
a
man,
son husband.
but you her son. Yeah. Like, and I see a lot of women do that. I never even told my son he was the man of the house because you're not. You're the boy,
Mhm.
and you can take this trash and shit out, but you're not the man of the house. I don't want you to feel that you have that much responsibility as a child. That's a lot to put on a
Mhm.
boy when you 10 and somebody saying, "Oh, well, you're the man of the house." No, he's the boy. He's a boy.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
But I
he's
ain't
a
gonna
man.
lie.
He's a man now, but not of my house.
Right. But I think whether that title is bestowed on that young man or not, low key, that's something that we kind of take pride in. You feel me?
Mhm.
Like
As a
like when
man.
I yeah, you know what I'm saying, or as
Mhm.
a young man up
Mhm.
and becoming or whatever. You feel me?
Yeah.
Saying that because I grew up in the era where there were, where that was a term. You know what I'm saying? All right, son, I need
Mhm.
you to be the man of the house. And, when she would say that to me, like I took some sort of conviction to that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that even though I would try to do that, I think all boys do that, do our moms like that. Like if she went out or something and stayed
Mhm.
out a little too late, I might be at the door waiting on her, like how she would do me or whatever. You feel me? But it was all out of joking or whatever. But still, nevertheless, I can really say, as an only child and as a, of course, as a young man growing up and whatnot, I ain't gonna lie, I took pride in when my mom would say, you the man of the house. I, 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 I guess what I'm trying to say is, I took it more as in like, man, I get to protect the fort type. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
So your in
So,
your inner man came out in you for real because that's what men are trained and taught to do is be
I'm not
protectors.
that's I didn't mean it to that is I meant like
no,
well when
no,
I would
no.
tell my son that I told him that because I was watching at the time when he was younger, I was also working at the alternative school and I would listen to
Right,
the boys over there talk about how they don't let their mama date or they interfere with all this type of stuff because I'm the man of the house. My mama she don't need nobody else. She got me. And I'm like, okay, well, you can't say that because you at the end of the day you still a child.
still a child for sure,
But I
So
think some of that comes from too the parents having their children in too much in their business
for
and the
sure.
children seeing too much. So as a
Right.
yeah,
I
child,
was just gonna
and
say
that's
that.
why. But
Yeah, exposing them. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't do
Corey
that. So
mama
yeah,
probably didn't expose him to that. Those kids you working with, their parents exposed them to way more than they should have been exposed to as a child.
it
And
might
that's
have
with
right.
been
that enmeshment.
different, but I get what y'all saying. Yeah,
And sometimes that's what happens. You become the children know too much. So they're looking at you like they're
yeah. I
responsible
don't
for
let
your
mine sit
well
around
being.
and listen
Right.
and do all that. So that's what I mean by you're not the man of the house. Like you don't. I'm not coming to you for you to solve my issues. Now, as far as
Right.
Right.
being a place of protection, yes. Or certain things, then yes, I'm gonna be like, hey, can you go do this for me or do that, whatever, whatever. But as far
Yeah.
as putting that much, when I say pressure, I mean like sometimes the kids be like, I'm the man of the house, is because they real life was like paying bills and shit.
Yeah.
Or they
Facts.
was
Yeah.
real life witnessing stuff they didn't have no business witnessing. And that
Right.
makes them feel guilty and feel responsible for their mother
I mean,
or
if
their
you
in
if you paying
Or
bills, then you
siblings or
should be
whatever. Yeah.
responsible. Shit.
right.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
then
So
I was thinking
yeah.
too, though, but you have to think about the dynamics of black families too. A lot of times is we don't want to be enmeshed, but sometimes like we all we have at certain points. You know what I'm saying? I'm not justifying enmeshment. I'm not
I agree.
justifying,
No, to a
but
certain extent, I
sometimes
think it's a good thing because you have to be able to. I just think when
because
there's absolutely no boundaries,
yeah, it's a
then
different thing.
that's
Cause
when
I
it's
be looking
problematic.
because I be looking at things now in the way family structure is for black people. Black people used to be more closer knit and then closer to their home. Black people didn't move that far away from their nuclear family.
relatives, and yeah,
Yeah, it was always the closeness. So now I'm looking at it, and black people, especially once they be get into certain tax brackets and get more money, we're spread out further and further apart from one another. So
right,
in my mind,
That
I'm
takes away
witnessing the
from community
breakdown.
and village too.
Yes. So
yeah,
enmeshment is not healthy, but I think sometimes in the sense of your
It's
community,
necessary.
it's necessary. Black people are losing that. You know what I'm saying? As a whole, because I look at me and my brothers, we don't live nowhere close to our parents. Our parents have one child in the city with them. All rest the four of us is gone. So once
Yeah.
again, it's like, and I've always, wherever I move with my kids, I try to move somewhere where I know I'm gonna have a support system. When I was in Jackson, I had my parents. Here, I have the father, their father's family. So
right.
you know, that's enmeshment is a
But
for black people is a
if your
different.
family is enmeshed to an extent to where the only way that you can breathe is to get away from them, then
Well, sometimes you got to do that. That's
yeah,
understandable. But
that's just
also too, I'm learning as even if you are in a mesh family, you have to learn how to set your own boundaries personally. You may not be able to set them as a child because you are in somebody else's home, but once you get older and you understand what it was, it's up to you to talk to your
that's
parents and let your parents
y'all
know.
having boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But it takes
So I just look at
recognition and work.
and then like some of the other stuff that some enmeshed families go through is like sweeping shit under the rug, and then instead of just not talking about what happened, like it could be anything, but sometimes your grandmama or somebody might not want to talk about this shit because it make them uncomfortable. So you sweeping
Right,
Mhm.
it under the rug, but that only leads to generational trauma. And the only way
facts.
that those things can be dealt with is to have hard conversations.
Yeah.
Def-
So sweeping it under the rug for the sake of the family to keep everybody in a
To
comfortable
keep like
emotional
that,
state.
like what I was saying, in some families where the enmeshment is really bad, there's like a hierarchy. You have like a grandmother, and then you have the mom and her sisters, and then you have
Mhm.
the grandkids or whoever's involved in those levels. So if the
Mhm.
oldest person is uncomfortable discussing whatever happened, then it's gonna get swept under the rug. And then when somebody does try to bring it up, it's a really hard conversation. And sometimes people like to have cognitive dissonance and don't want to recognize what's being said. And the only time that situation can be healed or rectified is to have that conversation.
right.
Mhm.
I would agree.
And that also, I think too, with that situation, it teaches children if nobody listens to their individual what's happening or what's going on with them and just sweeping stuff under the rug. That teaches people coming from a child from a mess home, it teaches you to never challenge the system or challenge anything because anytime you did challenge something, nobody paid you any attention. It was swept under the rug. So you get
Right.
a lot of people who are timid and scared to say really how they feel
Or
about stuff
because you
because
might get a
nobody
whoop.
ever, right, because you're going against the code or going against
Right.
the family.
That's a level of, and then that's all kind of tied into things looking a certain way
Hmm.
or
I
whatever.
think
Mhm.
that's more so with black fans. I think like for
I
so
think
long,
a
black
lot
people,
of families have those issues, not just black people.
yeah,
There's just black
yeah,
people
they
are just the
do.
only ones that put it on.
Or we can only talk from a black perspective because I ain't been in a white family.
Right.
Well, I mean,
I
that
can't
makes sense.
speak on well in
I've
white
talked,
families we do
I've
this.
sit and listened to them talk though. They be having just as that a lot. It be fucked up too.
Yeah, they do, and they'll pay
But
people. They'll pay to go get
they
counseling.
that's on they thing. Yeah, that's what I was finna. That was gonna be
They
my
will pay,
yeah, to get some help. And sometimes they don't, but it just depends on who. They're more willing to do it than a lot of times. Black people gonna go to church.
but that's also black people don't aren't as trusting of others either because when we did
I mean,
trust
they
people,
have good reason not to.
You're right, because when we did trust people, certain things, or when we do trust people, certain things
Right.
happen that it's
Most
just like, damn.
most definitely. Yeah.
Like,
I
so
think
we have a certain guard up
right.
when it comes
Most
to
def
stuff like that.
I think us as black people, most definitely, when it comes to uh, voluntary inviting people into
Yeah.
our business per se, we most definitely got a stigma or
Yeah,
stigmata
because you
towards
see
that.
what happens when we
Yeah,
invite certain people
Yeah, I
into the
really wish you would
conversation.
just stop
we get
inviting people to
displaced
the
and
barbecue.
But well, we do, and we see what happens. So that's why
That's
a
what
lot
I'm
of times
saying. Like we
a
have to
lot of
chill
us
on that.
aren't as open to stuff and open to.
But I feel like if it's somebody that I think people are getting better with it because I see it more and I hear people talking about it. But we'll take something and run with it. Like you can go to therapy or you can go and get some help, but it doesn't matter if you lying to
if you
your
ain't
therapist.
right,
Right.
or if you ain't doing the work, you feel me?
Right.
Right. And it's up to the individual too.
Yeah.
You come to a point when you decide that you want to talk about it or do the work. But a lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just practice. There are a lot of people are comfortable in their way of thinking. I tell y'all what, it's so funny though, right now, everything that's going on in the world. This off topic, but I'm just saying we'll get back. But the things that's going on, we've been talking about this stuff for how long? How many years?
Talking about what?
Just everything that's going on in the world. Like
About 10,
everything.
12 years? Hell.
Man, we've been talking about this since 2017 for real. And it's just like just watching it like but people practice what cognitive dissonance. Didn't nobody want to talk about it. Didn't nobody want to believe it. So now everybody, Cat Williams tell y'all in January, this is gonna be the year of revelations. Now everybody
I
on
want
point.
to tell shit.
Right.
I mean,
True,
it's
Y'all
true.
should
funny.
have been tell. Or I think it's more of even though like sometimes like people can tell that's like when we talk about the enmeshment and sweeping shit under the rug. Somebody could easily come out and be like, "Oh, well, this happened to me," or "This happened to me," and then people be like, "Well, whatever," just sweep it under the rug and don't talk about it. Now, this year, or the year of revelation, as Cat Williams called it, I think is a year where hard conversations are being had.
Hard
Right.
conversations are being had and people are not practicing cognitive
No,
dissonance. They're
there.
actually
That's what you
opening their
can't.
mind.
You cannot have a hard conversation if you practice cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, there people are being a whole lot more open. I think it's going to take some work for certain generations to be more open to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And then it kind of be somewhat off topic or whatnot. And then I think that also comes from a place where, speaking as a black man or whatnot, I think that also comes from a place where they took the ability from us to think literally. So therefore,
Hmm.
a lot of us can't, what I'm saying, see
Yeah,
what's right in front of our face or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Right.
Ain't
To
got
lose
nobody's
it.
Like,
critical thinking. Nobody's critical thinking
And
skills.
y'all know what? I promise you, they
correct.
do not teach that no more. We is not. I do, but that is not.
Oh nah, man.
No critical thinking, man.
Yeah,
Multiple motherfucking choice. But on to
Critical thinking ain't nothing but common sense. Mother
and a
wits.
lot of people don't have because if I ask you, hey, can you tell me in your own words what this means? And the first or second response I get is, hey, can I Google it? You want Google to tell you what you think?
right. What's your understanding of that?
Right. What did you get
It's
from it?
I don't I mean that's like pulling teeth, man.
I ain't gonna lie though. When we was in school, I hated answering those questions at the end. Y'all know how we would read something and you would
Then
have to
you got
give
the
the
review
answer.
section.
Yeah.
Section
It's
review.
like,
Yeah.
so what did you gather from the I don't fucking know what I just read. I ain't even want to read this
Because it
shit.
don't be shit you want to read. If it was
Right.
something that you was interested in, like say you could have took that book you read in your book club now and gave it to you when you was in high school, I bet you would have been interested. I read shit like Zane. They ain't had no business reading Zane. But if somebody had asked me what happened, I could have gave them a detailed explanation, and it allowed me
Right.
to use my imagination.
Imagination,
Yeah,
exactly.
because I created the characters how I wanted them to look.
Yes, I'll tell you a book that I read. I was reading the books that me and the guys was reading. Pimp by Iceberg Slim. That was one of my favorite books.
Yeah, so was mine. So was one
I
of
remember a
mine.
couple of dudes in
Yeah,
class was
one of
reading. I was
mine.
like, that was the first book that I ever read. I didn't read Zane and all of them until I got a little older. But the first book, like novel that I just got on my own and read, it was Pimp by Iceberg Slim.
I've been reading avidly since I was little. Like my mama used to make us read.
Yeah. I used to read like when I was a kid in second and third grade. Like our dad used to take us to the library, but like my first novel, I ain't read no novel books. Like I wasn't studying that shit.
So we used to go and get books all the time. So I don't know, but my mama was that shit was different. Oh, I got one. I have one another one.
Okay.
What about? I think I don't know. Did we kind of talk about like how your family and your friends can ruin your relationships?
We kind of sort of by the over involvement and trying to
Yeah.
tell. Well, you didn't. I don't know what you mean because you talked about like your parents, your family trying to tell you to stay in relationships
I'm
with
talking
somebody
about,
that you ain't.
say for instance, if you are in a situation and the people that you talk to on a consistent basis have a negative mindset. So say you might be like, say if you came to me and was talking about something with you and your dude, and I was just like, fuck him, girl, you just need to break up with him. Niggas ain't shit, whatever, whatever. And that's my answer every time. If you're not a strong minded person, then that could get into your head.
So what I have learned about relationships, I don't share everything.
I'm
I don't.
saying I'm not speaking on you.
I mean, I know. I'm just saying, for even with family, like you have to learn it's your relationship. So I get it. Your family gonna try to sway you any way they want to, but I've learned when you go through situations and relationships, and you have a family enmeshed or not, you tell them anything bad about what happened in your relationship. It's going
Then
to
it's
always
gonna
be
stick. Yes, that's what I'm
a
saying.
topic of
So
discussion.
when you have a situation like that, you can't
Hmm.
tell your family everything because what you forgive, they might not forgive. You might come say for instance, if somebody came and was like, "Oh man, let me tell you what happened. Whatever, whatever. My nigga cheated on me, or my girl cheated on me, or whatever," and then I'm your friend. So I'm gonna be looking
Hmm.
at them sideways, kind of like, damn, you just, So you might decide, okay, well, I'm gonna be with him or whatever, and I'm not gonna be like, well, nah, fuck it. I'm just,
And a
you
mess
my
family would be
friend.
like,
I'm
you
gonna
don't
be
need to
like,
be with him.
yeah, some people do, but that's not
Yeah.
your decision. It's
Right.
whoever's in a relationship decision. Like I've always been like, well, if you come to me and you ask me something, I'm gonna give you my honest thought process on the situation. But if you decide that you want to stay, I'm just gonna be like, well, whatever shit, motherfucker. Hey, that's not
Yeah.
my business. But everybody not like that.
Right. If you're in a mesh family, but and
They
then
gonna
too,
want you
as
to break up and
right,
because
and
they mad,
then
but you not mad no more, but they still mad.
or they just may be that they're family and they're looking out for your well being in their
Yeah.
minds.
Yeah. But what's good, what you think is good, like I was saying earlier, you might not see the entire, like that's the outside looking in. So you
Hmm.
looking at this, but you don't know what's going on within the walls of our home. So we
And a
might
lot of times when people give negative instances or bad things that happen in
it's
relationship,
their
that's a
perception.
one-off thing. It's every once in a while, and you just
Yeah.
have some frustrations.
And
But
you
also
yeah,
with that comes wisdom to know how to deal with your own relationships
yeah.
within the confines of your relationships too. It should
I
not be
agree.
discussed
You
as
ain't
a
got to
family
tell
thing
everybody everything.
unless it's like you getting beat up or some shit
And
like.
then that be the one thing that people a lot of times won't say nothing about.
Well, because a lot of times we're in that situation too, you don't know how to say anything, and you
And
don't want
that's what
anybody.
I'm saying. Like when you don't listen, well, when you're not coming, when you're not you in a relationship and you it's toxic, then a lot of times you're isolated. So when you do come and you say something, then people gonna automatically be like, you need to do this and you need to do this, whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
But you still in the process of, well, damn, I love him oh, I love her, and I want to try to work it out. Maybe we can get therapy. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. Whatever. But you done already went and told your family all this fucked up shit. So
Hmm.
now, even if you really wanted to make your relationship work, it's gonna be hard because
because you don't
Or it
create.
ain't gonna be.
I'm saying
Because
I
if you
mean,
if you in an enmeshed family, yes, it
oh
will.
yeah, if you're in a mixed
yeah,
family, yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
hard.
what I'm speaking on is being involved in an enmeshed family and
Or
you
even if you're in a
discussing your
regular
issues.
family,
It's gonna
right.
it
be
might
hard.
be
Yeah.
hard
Even I'm
because
just
they're
saying, like, if it's regular, but you discussing very intimate details with a large section of your family that has something to do with your relationship, that's enmeshment.
what you mean a large section.
Like your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad. Like
Mm,
that's sometimes too like if you really trying to keep your relationship together, sometimes you just don't talk about this shit.
I don't know. So I'm just every we talking about this, I'm trying to relate this to my family in
And
my
that's what like
mind.
we don't you can't if we just having a conversation. That's why I keep saying I'm not talking about you in
Yeah, I know. I
particular.
know
I'm
you're not,
just
but I'm just for me, I have to put it in perspective in my family view. Like I come from a
okay.
blended family,
Mine
and
is
I don't
not.
know.
My family is everybody
We ain't
almost
a
got the
mess like
same,
that.
huh?
We wasn't mixed in like that. Like we
Oh, we
all, like I said,
wasn't
all
mixed
of.
in like that either, but I have dealt with people who were.
Hmm.
That's what I'm speaking on. Like when you like my family, if I want, only way my family gonna know what's happening is if I tell them.
Yeah,
But sometimes people
Right.
be at each other houses all the time, and like I go hang out at my family house, but she okay. What time y'all going home?
yeah,
So
But
because
no,
like, huh?
no. But I was just gonna say like when you constantly doing that though, like ain't nothing wrong. First, let me say this though. There's nothing wrong with you or your counterpartner confiding in your in their family or whatever. But
hmm,
if
Yeah.
you constantly doing this and not even
yeah,
realize it, because sometimes that person can't even don't necessarily realize that they're painting a negative perception. You feel me? Of their
Mhm.
counterpart, and they could be just like confiding in them from a neutral space, but nevertheless, in that particular family member, whether they come from a immense family or not, like we were saying or whatever, you feel me? That'll still create some sort of negative image
yeah.
in that family member's
And their
mindset.
family, right?
Yeah, you
And
feel me? So
they may not be enmeshed. It's just family. Like they want
right,
your
you know what I mean?
well being is their number one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So most definitely, like you say, I mean, overall or whatever, whether you're doing it voluntarily or involuntarily, too much of confined and like I say, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's a thin line. Like they say, too much of
Yeah.
anything is a bad thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
Whether you conscious of it or not, you know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, man, they can most definitely kind of blur the lines or whatever and create some sort of inner turmoil, whether it's with your family or with your counterpart.
Hmm.
All right. I agree. I and then like even when you go, if you take what we was just talking about and take it a step farther and add in, say for instance, you might have the person that they're talking to could be what somebody could consider bitter. I think men and women can be bitter, or somebody that's doesn't value relationships the same way that you do. Like, say
Right.
for instance, somebody could be like, well, fuck, just get you a new one. Good, fuck it. It don't even matter. Just it's all these bitches out here getting a new one. Or it might be somebody that's just bitter and over relationships in general. And then you go in and you're confiding in this person, and they're gonna give you their emotional feedback from it. And if this
Correct.
is somebody that you're really, really close with, say for instance, it could be a sister or a
A
mom
parent.
or a
Yeah.
brother, yeah, then you're gonna take
Hmm.
into what they're saying, thinking,
Right.
okay, well, this person really has my best interest at heart. But really, in reality, they might be just giving you all that they can give you because that's all they've experienced.
Right. And not even realizing that they're that person, that family member, that mother, that brother, that sister, whoever, they're speaking from a hurt place. You
Right.
feel me? You know what I mean?
Like
So
y'all
yeah.
drunk ass aunties, them drunk
That
ass
YOLO we
aunties,
talking about.
man, drunk aunties.
Man, or
Ain't
that
had a
drunk,
hug,
or
ain't
your
had a man
daddy,
since,
or your you
ain't had
going
a
to talk
man
to
since
your,
1990.
or you to going to talk to your daddy who been calling
So,
himself a self-promoted player for 15 years.
so that's called discernment. At some point, if you're an adult, like
Yeah.
people got to take responsibility. Like you can't be going to somebody you know
But if
is
you
ra-
don't realize that that person is like that, then like
that
it could
means you
be
need
your
to do some
mom.
self work. Self work.
Exactly. So if you need to, you gotta be able to see in your own faults or self reflect on where you are in life and why am I making these decisions that I'm making,
Right.
or allowing somebody else to make the decisions for me, or their thought process get going into my brain and making me look at things a different, like if I've already made up in my mind, okay, well, this is the person that I'm gonna be with. We're gonna work out whatever we got going on. Your bitter ass auntie shouldn't be able to come in and be like, girl, fuck that nigga. He ain't shit. Or your uncle or whoever you going to talk to, them shouldn't be saying,
Or
oh
they can say
man.
it. You just got to be mature enough to damn know what
But
you
a lot
want.
of people not though.
Right. And see that's right. So coming
Like
from
we
those
have done the work, Nafisa. We done sat down and reflected and looked at shit and understood
So
who I
when do
do
you
and
when
don't.
so as a person, when do you learn how to reflect? Like people can
When
talk
you
all
get
day until
when
you
you
make
get
that choice.
when you hit rock bottom and decide you don't want to keep making the same damn decisions.
Exactly. So that's everybody. Everything in life is
Yeah.
up to you.
But if you stuck in cognitive dissonance, then you might not see, or if your family is so enmeshed that
Hmm.
the whoever the matriarch or patriarch or whatever is making those decisions for you.
right. And so therefore, hence with that particular person, they don't even know how to think for themselves. You feel me?
Exactly.
Hmm.
And sometimes
They
the
so
only
you
way to get away from that is to move away,
mm,
Yeah, that makes
or
sense.
or remove yourself from so much family involvement.
Hmm.
man, that's crazy that you just said that you said it. Um, I had posted on social media literally not too long before we got on over an hour ago. So I was like removing yourself from
Hmm.
situations that repeatedly triggers your mental health and
Mhm.
hurts your heart and top tier. Hold up, excuse me. Removing yourself from situations that repeatedly trigger your mental health and hurt your heart is top tier self care. You feel me? And so, like hearing that, when I seen that or whatever, just I take that from all different avenues or whatever, from whether that be family, work, you know what I'm saying, friends, etc. You know what I mean? You got to be willing and know when to remove yourself from situations, and that's a vital form of self-care. So a lot of people, in retrospect, what I'm trying to say, a lot of people move away from certain family, friends, or whatever, towns, cities, whatever the place, as a form of self-care, and they don't even realize that though. They just think they're escaping something. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Not
that
knowing
makes
that they,
sense. That make a
yeah,
lot of sense. I've seen people do that. Just up and move. I got to get away from my mom, or I got to get away from my family because it's so fucked up that I need to go somewhere else and start over away from them.
So that's their form of self help.
Yeah, sometimes you got to get, or you could even look at it as, say, you in a situation where, well, just the one we just described. I couldn't even come up with another explanation. Hey, but I pulled a
Mhm.
card from my relationship oracle, and I did it 3 times, y'all, and it pulled the same card. So I don't know what that means, but I pulled sensitivity. And it says the frequency of sensitivity helps us open to the world of subtlety. It's been a long day. Subtly. How you say that? Subtlety.
Subsequently.
Ah, damn.
Subtly.
There you go, right
Subtly.
there. I couldn't make my mouth say the word. Damn.
The B is silent, ain't it?
I couldn't get that shit to say. It wouldn't for me, but whatever. That's it. I could never say
Mhm.
that word. Anyway, and detail while anchoring in a structural foundation, thus supporting us to become more fully multidimensional. And I think like this enmeshment, if you are not paying attention to your sensitivities and what affects you, you will never realize that you are in an enmeshed situation. And therefore you won't be able to become more fully multi-dimensional, which in our aspect really just mean authentically yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
Sensitivity.
you have to pay attention to
A
your
man
sensitivity.
like me. Y'all remember that song?
Yes, your
Most
ass is
definitely.
stupid. They get that. But for real though, if you don't identify your sensitivities, then how can you set boundaries to remove yourself out of a mess situation?
Mhm. You all
Most
up in the
definitely.
mix.
You
That's
all
why
All
in
you
in the
said,
mix and don't
y'all
know the
just
flavor.
in the stirring pot, just stirring.
All in the
that
Kool-Aid. Miss, our teacher used to say that to us in the sixth grade, Miss Thomason. All in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor.
don't know the flag. Hey,
Miss
that
Perk.
Tiger. Oh my God, man, I ain't heard
Yes,
that.
she had them
Oh my
words for
Lord.
you,
I
baby. You
didn't
remember
have her.
you remember Miss Thomason?
Yeah.
You had
Yep.
Miss Thomason Corbett, bruh.
Yeah. She. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. She was 7A, wasn't she?
Yes. Oh my God. With Miss Caesar.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Baby, Miss
ah,
Thomason. Miss Thomason
I
will
ain't
play. You
heard
coming
that
there with no
name
homework.
forever.
You are a day late and $1 short. You were in the boat with in the river with holes in the boat and a piranha in the sea. You did not cut the ketchup mustard, so you
Oh
could
my
not catch up.
goodness. Look, I haven't heard them little jargons in forever, and that show was her. Like,
But I
that's
love Miss
crazy.
Thomas to know because
Yeah.
regardless of whatever, like she cared. Like she came off as this hard, mean little old lady, but she fuck with us. Like she really cared. Like she was a teacher. They don't make teachers like that
No,
no more.
they do make teachers like that. It's just that what we have to do, it
You
ain't
right.
you. I want people to stop saying they don't make teachers like that
They
because they
do.
really do. It's what we have to do. Is what the
It's
issue
just so much bureaucracy and
is.
red tape.
So
Like
yes, teachers be
she
we
was
be
the best
pairing.
math teacher in the world though. She knew her shit. But that motherfucker had some sayings for your ass. Don't come in there and not have your work, man. She finna talk cash money. You finna feel
As
real
you
little.
should. You should feel very small because you didn't do what you were supposed to.
You gonna feel real bad. She just go on a rant for about 5 minutes. Miss Thomason,
Man,
come on and just teach this class, please.
no, I need for you to understand that I put forth this effort to put all this shit together and you ain't do it. I'm finna roast you.
Man, she would check us every
A
day.
level of
Non-stop.
enmeshment in the school.
I wonder what she is. She lived with her mama.
I
She had a little
show wherever
boyfriend.
she is, she retired.
She looked like she was on the way out then. She like a little burnt piece of leather.
The visa.
Bruh, but she did. Like she
She
liked
probably
being in the
used to
sun
be at
and
the
being
beach.
outside.
She probably
Huh?
had a she probably had a tanning bed in her living room.
No, that lady was probably going fishing every weekend because I swear she said that holes in the boat from Ronald line every other day.
No, that nigga was at the tanning bed in
Man,
her living
you
room.
you want y'all want to know one teacher that I could say from that era of my life that I really wish that I would have had just a little bit more respect for, and wish I would have revered a little bit more.
Who?
Um, she used to substitute for say Tiger a lot, man.
Oh, the
She
little short lady.
black lady, heavy set. She was the first
Miss
black
Moses,
Miss
bruh.
Moses, man.
Miss
Oh my
Moses.
God,
Hey,
dog.
I listen. I used to rent cars to Miss Moses about 7, 8, 10 years ago at Enterprise, bruh. She was still kicking. I would go pick her up because she stayed right off of Hayes Street. Miss Moses was the coolest
Miss
Man, come
lady.
on,
Moses wrote
man.
them songs. She wrote some the state song.
Tennessee Nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
something
Yeah,
about some
you feel
She
me?
Tennessee
wrote
Like,
Nuggets.
because I used
yeah,
to laugh every time I seen her car because she was kind of heavy and it said nuggets. And I
mm-hmm.
used to be in a flow laughing because I didn't
see
know.
shit like,
I
see
just
shit
thought
like
she
that,
liked
yeah.
nuggets. Shit, I didn't.
And we would come up with the most man. You ain't the only one, man. Like,
Man, why is
I
your
wish I would have put a little bit more respect on that woman name, man.
Man, but see,
I'm sorry, Miss
I
Moses. I
had
thought
Miss
you liked
Moses.
nuggets.
See, I always liked Miss Moses. She became
I
a
didn't
teacher
say I didn't
eventually.
like her. I
Yeah,
just
I liked her, but I just wish
Yeah,
I would have, just
yeah,
known what I know now about her.
I
You
just
know what
know
man,
I
she
Miss
liked
Moses,
nuggets. I didn't know. This nigga
Miss
license
Moses.
plate say nuggets. She love chicken nuggets.
Right. And that's the child, man. You know we gonna go straight to that because look at her, she look hungry type shit, just crazy.
Man,
She lost a lot of weight though. The older she got, she lost a lot of weight. She said she had to for health purposes.
man.
Right.
I always
She
She
thought
lost
couldn't
a
she
help
was
lot
it.
of weight.
highly. She had a lot of information in her brain.
She
Man,
was
yes,
a
she
well
did.
enough.
And that's what I'm trying to get to now. Me being a knowledgeable person, I wish I could have tapped into that. Because she sure had a lot to give, man.
Yeah, she's a well of knowledge. Well of knowledge. The kids used to be laughing at her,
Cause she
Oh
and
said
she
God.
actually
that she
cared
chicken
about the
nuggets
kids.
over
Yeah, she actually gave a fuck, man.
And
Yeah,
she would
man.
never get upset. You would rarely see her get upset. She would just sit there until everybody got done. Like y'all done, but
Right.
she rarely
cause she
got
not
upset.
finna stress me out.
Right, but
All
she
right,
was.
bro. See, now they make me feel even worse, like, cause you ain't lying. Like, I can remember
Yeah.
some of my classmates acting a straight fool in her
But
class,
And
but
y'all
she
she
wasn't the only
never,
y'all wasn't the
never
only
lost her fool.
ones.
no, never lost her cool. Cause she know she understood that we were kids.
And you have to understand that. That's why I hate when people hold kids accountable for a grown people emotions. Like he doesn't have the capability to understand
Grasp that.
what you're
Yeah.
asking them to, like they don't have that capability to control their emotions.
They
Most
still
grown
in
people
sixth grade.
don't. If your parents
Right.
are emotionally out of control, then you're gonna be emotionally out of control.
But
I
like you
agree.
said, the only reason why I can say, us three, or especially even myself, I can speak most definitely I can say y'all too, but me, where I'm a work in progress. And I think we all are or whatever, but
We
nevertheless,
never stop. All of us are work in
yeah,
progress
Yeah,
till
I'm a
we
work in
die.
process. I be crashing out sometimes. Shit.
man, come on now. And like I say, but still though, we wouldn't be where we at, like y'all say, the one of the topics, man, if we didn't do the work. You feel me?
Exactly.
Right.
Or was willing to,
And I
Right.
think the
Or
biggest
open
thing a
to it.
person can do is self reflect.
Right. A lot of people ain't even open to the idea.
They
right,
I
just
ain't gonna
cool
lie.
with
I
what
be getting
they
on
are, and
Facebook.
I'm just gonna drink. I'm gonna just drink till I feel better. That's what I
They
say.
raw dog in life.
They not raw dogging. The nigga got on
Not raw
5 condoms.
dog. Got all the prophylactics. I
Man,
got that weed in me. I got that liquor. Now y'all
self
be popping these
play dog.
pills. Don't be knowing what's in them, baby.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
The no go for me. Why I say crash out the other day? You said crash out. I said crash out talking to my kids. They talking about what does that mean? How in the fuck are y'all in high school and middle school and
And don't
don't
know what
know
it
what
means.
crash out?
They saying it. I know what it means. Now they have
My
started
kids didn't know
using
what it meant.
gas as a positive. That's
Who?
gas. I be like, shit. Who got some gas? Why y'all saying this? Stop saying it.
Just like
It-
I told my
Or
my kids,
cap.
I was like, I saw a YN in the mall. They talking about some. What is a YN? Who? Where? I know I'm not. Y'all not squarer than me. What in the hell?
Hey, that's your fault. No, just
Y'all some
that's
damn
actually good.
lame.
That's good. That mean they don't
But stay on the phone. How you don't know what a
okay.
YN is
They don't be
or
paying attention.
crash out?
I took mine's phone, boy. She been over here sick. I told her, bro, get on there and find you a book. I can't find that phone. I think she get it though. She can have it.
See if you can
I
do.
bet it don't turn. I bet I turn it off.
Bet the bill don't get paid.
Nah, I'm gonna pay the bill because mine connected to it.
Uh, well,
But I
Jesus.
disable it.
Oh, the power of technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Well, y'all, we at 105. I want to see if this music gonna play.
we'll see if it's gonna play. Shout out to my boy
Can you hear it?
Tone Antonio. Drop out Tone. If we can get it to play, we sure do
It ain't
appreciate it.
playing.
No, I don't hear nothing.
Man,
I
that's
hear
booty
crickets.
ass. Huh?
I hear crickets. The
Which
crickets
one? What
outside
was
my
it?
window chirping. Huh?
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sound like a piano playing in the background.
Right.
Hmm.
Like a scary movie.
Yeah.
Feel like I'm at a recital.
Stupid.
I wash my hands in the water. I wash my hands of all my bad habits. I wash my hands of self talk that led to things tragic. I deserve more than what I can fathom. I am worthy of all this magic. I wash my hands in the water. I wash my hands of all my bad habits. I wash my hands of self talk that led to things tragic. I deserve more than what I can fathom. I am worthy of all this magic. Yeah. I'm super goaded if you ask me. Yeah. Make it happen for my family and my friends, I'll do it gladly. I recognize my thoughts surpass me. Yeah. I set a goal and I attain it if my heart and mind will tag team. Aligned by God with those that I travel the world for. So it's no problem when they ask me. I know it's love just by the way the heart attached me. Like components designed to always remain exactly as connected. The love just grows from the soil, unaffected by a winter drought or dry season. It only grows for one reason, yeah, because we water it and feed it what it needs. What else other than sunshine and love to plant this seed? Yeah, and I can tell just by the way. Yeah.
All right. I think that jam
Okay.
vibe.
Oh
It
yeah,
do.
yeah, that
Uh,
was dope.
yeah, I vibe with it. So
Yeah.
I just okay. I done figure something out now. I learn something new every day.
Look
As you
at
supposed
Jesus.
to.
And you still living and
Okay,
learning.
that I died. All right, well, all right. Till next time. What's that? Sunday, Sap Sunday, Sap Sucker
Yep.
Sunday,
Yeah,
Part
yeah,
Three.
that's
Sapsucker
it.
Sunday. We're gonna have to put a name on Sapsucker for this. Oh, it's just Sapsucker.
We can do
Yeah.
Sap Sucker, and then we can talk about this
No,
off.
because we talking about random stuff. We ain't got no
I'm talking
title
about. I'm
for it.
finna end this call.
I will end this motherfucker then. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all.
Yeah. I wash my hands in the water. Yeah. I wash my hands of all my bad habits. I wash my hands of self talk that led to things tragic. I deserve more than what I can fathom. I am worthy of all this magic. I wash my hands in the water. I wash my hands of all my bad habits. I wash my hands of self talk that led to things tragic. I deserve more than what I can fathom. I am worthy of all this magic.